Hola estudiantes, hoy vamos a aprender cuándo usar el pretérito y el imperfecto. Today we're going to learn how to use preterite and imperfect together. You're going to use preterite to describe actions or states the speaker views as completed. For example, ¿viviste en este barrio el verano pasado? You live in that neighborhood last year. To express the beginning or end of a past action. La película empezó a las 8. The movie began at 8. To narrate a series of past actions. Salí de la casa, crucé la calle, entré al edificio. I left the house, crossed the street, and entered the building. Clase in here. All of these actions are completed. See, so he left the house, and after he left the house, or I left the house, and after I left the house, I crossed the street, and after I crossed the street, I entered the building. So all of these are completed, and after they are completed, you start the other one. The imperfect is used to describe repeated or habitual actions in the past, with no reference to when they began or ended. Siempre nos quedábamos en aquel hotel. We always used to stay at the hotel. Your keyword here is always, siempre. Siempre, always means that it's habitual, that it's repeated. Todos los veranos iban a la costa. Every summer they went, or they used to go, to the coast. Todos los veranos is your keyword here. Every summer, it's repeated or habitual. To describe actions or events that the speaker views as in the process of happening in the past. Again, there's no reference to when they began or ended. Pedía la cena, she was ordering dinner. Buscaba el carro, he was looking for the car. Empezábamos a estudiar cuando él vino. We were beginning to study when he came. To convey background description, often accompanied by an interrupting action in the preterite. Hacía mucho frío cuando llegaron. It was very cold when they arrived. Caminábamos por el bosque cuando vimos una casa extraña. We were walking through the forest when we saw a strange house. Cuando, when, see, interrupts what was going on before. See, caminábamos, we were walking, and what interrupts the walking? Boom, that they saw a strange house. To describe simultaneous actions in progress with mientras. Tú leías mientras Juan escribía la carta. You were reading while John was writing the letter. Mientras, while means that both actions are going at the same time in the past, with no reference to where they began or ended. Therefore, you use imperfect. To describe physical characteristics, conditions, and mental and emotional attitudes in the past. Estaban muy distraídos. They were very distracted. La querían muchísimo. He loved her a lot. Estaba enfermo. I was sick. La casa era vieja. The house was old. All of these are physical characteristics or conditions or mental or emotional attitudes in the past. And therefore, we use imperfect. To tell time, age, and weather. Eran la una. Eran las dos. Tenía 18 años. Whether when it's a part of a background description and not as the result of a previous action. Let's see the examples. Estaba nublado. It was cloudy. So it's background. Doesn't let you know when there's a beginning or there's an end. It's background information. It's weather. Había nubes grises, por eso llovió. There were gray clouds, that's why it rained. Había nubes grises, again, weather. It's part of a background description, but then, por eso, that's why. It's a result of a previous action, llovió, preterite. Preterite, it's in general used to describe completed actions or states in the past, while imperfect is used to describe ongoing habitual actions in the past with no reference to its beginning or end. Some words often associated with preterite: ayer, anteayer, anoche, una, dos veces, el año, el lunes, el mes, el verano pasado, la semana pasada, de repente, imperfect, cuando, preterite. That's generally how it goes, something that was going on. When is your keyword, and then preterite. In words associated with imperfect is or are todos los días, meses, años, todas las semanas, cada día, each day, generalmente, generally, por lo general, generally, siempre, always, or never, never or frequently, sometimes, while, de niño, de joven, was, ing, were ing, used to or would, when implied used to. Okay, so often we say that when you're creating a story in the past, you need to use imperfect when you are setting up your stage. So we are going to compare a story that we can create with setting up the stage and what is going on the stage to know when we use preterite and when we use imperfect. For example, the setting up a stage will be imperfect. You are giving your reader a mental picture of what is going on in your theater, in your stage. Estaban en la jungla, they were in the jungle. Era de noche, it was night. Estaba oscuro, it was dark. Habían animales, there were animals. So when you give this background information, this imperfect that you're using in your story, you're giving your reader a mental picture of what was in there. You're preparing them. You're setting up the stage for what's coming, for your action in your story that it's usually in preterite. So when we usually transition from imperfect to preterite, we use imperfect cuando preterite. For example, el pájaro y la araña estaban caminando cuando ¡pum! Vieron una serpiente. The bird and the spider were walking when, boom, they saw a snake. So, what interrupted the spider and the bird walking? See, the spider and the bird walking got their walking interrupted. See, what was going on in imperfect when they saw a snake? See, so miró, vieron una serpiente. La serpiente miró el pájaro. The snake looked at the bird. La encontró deliciosa. It found that it was delicious. Peleó con el pájaro. The snake fought with the bird. The snake ate it. Se lo comió. See? All of these are finished actions. See? When the snake looked at the bird, see? First the snake looked at the bird, and after it looked at the bird, it fought the bird, and after it fought with the bird, se lo comió. It ate the bird. See? That doesn't mean that we cannot have an imperfect at the end of your story. For example, we can have an imperfect at the end of the story. La araña estaba triste. The spider was sad. See? So, estaba triste conveys an emotion. Therefore, we're going to put it in imperfect. Ahora, hagamos los ejercicios de pretérito imperfecto. Estos están allí en tu papel, in your note guide. They're in your note guide. There are 15 sentences in total. Please let me know what's your keyword. Why do you choose preterite and why do you choose imperfect? Remember to study for your mini quiz tomorrow. Stop here to work on your answers. Then check your answers. En fin.